Somebody please explain to me, what is Mia Thornton's role on Real Housewives of Potomac? It just don't make any sense. We have women on here who's in committed relationships, and she's up here talking, although her and her husband have an arrangement and everybody's marriage is not going to look the same. I totally understand that. But according to things said on the show, it has been revealed that Gizelle actually was checked into a mental institution because of all of the things that Jamal had put her through. And that's including but not limited to the cheating. I don't understand the closeness that she's wanting to have with Mia at this point, knowing that women like Mia was the reason for her breakdown. Although Gizelle's ability to keep a man is questionable, I find it so interesting and intriguing that she would want a person like Mia around in her circle for when she does get into a committed relationship. You cannot trust a woman like Mia. It is not lost upon me that this is a reality TV show and people have a character to play. That's that. Aside from that, knowing that Jamal cheated on you multiple times, knowing that Robyn, you have been cheated on by one, knowing that Candace, they have accused Chris of talking to other women, including their friends. Why would a Mia be that interesting to you? When she came on the show, she threw her best friend of 20 years under the bus, saying that she was sleeping with married men. Nothing about Mia is intriguing. And if it's one thing that works my nerves, it's a habitual liar. While I understand it's a trauma response for most, I view it as a sickness. It can be very dangerous. We've seen how many times Mia is able to lie in a matter of 2 seconds. All Andy asked her, how did you inherit some money when you told us originally that you met G in a strip club and he had all the money, or something to that effect? And she goes rambling about having 3 grandparents. And I thought I was tripping until I rewatched it. And she actually did say she had 3 grandparents that left her some money. Maybe she said it wrong, but that's how it came out. Never once did she go back to clear it up. But I guarantee you, in the next season, she's going to have yet again another explanation as to how she came into this money. It's the unnecessary lies for me. I don't see what people's attraction is to Mia. Mia has flip-flopped several times on many occasions. The same way Candace will cry at a drop of a dime is the same way Mia will lie at a drop of a dime. And I just don't find that appealing. The whole situation with her and Jacqueline making up, that was inevitable. Because the whole point and purpose of her embarrassing Jacqueline in the first place to get her out the way. Needed the attention to be on her, because it was all fun and games when you guys were alluding to you and G and Jacqueline having threesomes or whatever she alluded to, or playing into the whole narrative that people felt like they had something going on. It was fine when she was helping your storyline, but as soon as the girls began to take a liking to Jacqueline, you threw her right under the bus. And I know Jacqueline's going to do what she has to do to remain. I would much rather, matter of fact, I know I'm skipping around, but I would much rather Jacqueline than Mia. I promise I'm going to back up off of her, because I definitely want to address the conversations that was had about colorism. Because Gizelle and Robyn is just playing in our face at this point. You know exactly what Candace and Wendy is saying. They're just choosing not to want to address it because they just don't want that jacket. But we can call people's moms evil, because I think the things that content creators are forgetting is that this conversation actually started with Katie, not Wendy, not Candace. Do I have to tell y'all to subscribe? Or you went on and did it out of courtesy? But go ahead and hit the subscribe button, y'all. Hit the like button. Share this content to all of our Real Housewives of Potomac fanatics, supporters, or people you know that's watching the show and just need some confirmation that they're not losing their fucking mind, because they're not. For these women on this show is the reason why I don't fuck with a lot of women. Me, I have always attracted older women. 40, 50, 60, even 70. And that's no lie. Since I was young, I've always attracted older women. To say that I don't have younger friends that's in my age range, it's just something about my spirit that has always attracted people that's 10, 15, 20 years older than me. That crowd of people, we do not have time for the foolishness. We legit don't have the fucking patience for foolery. Imagine me watching a show. I was losing my everlasting fucking mind, okay? Nevertheless, I'm here to entertain, so let's entertain. The moment I knew that I was not going to like Mia is when she threw that drink on Wendy. And it wasn't about her throwing a drink, although that did bother me. It was the conversations that was being had prior to. You were mad at her for not contacting a man that wasn't her husband. Weird. At that time, Wendy told her to mind her own business and the things that she had going on in her bedroom with Gordon. Throwing that drink was her initiation into the Green Eyed Bandit Club. And the sad part is, it worked. And then Jacqueline's sister, she took to YouTube for about a year, exposing the fuck out of Mia. And she didn't let up off that woman's neck. For me, it didn't even surprise me when she said that she was cool with Jacqueline again, because that's the name of the game when it comes to Mia. You're on the outs with Gordon. You don't know what to do with your life. You need assistance. And so you're going to go back to what you know. Jacqueline and her family, they have always been in your corner. More, Jacqueline don't need your way in because she's cool with Sharice. You can say that she was feeling a way about Jacqueline and her situation with her trauma all she wants, but that literally don't even fucking make sense. She is a social climber. I've never understood women that does this. Nothing she ever says makes sense, which makes me question, why is she on this cast? Or for her to sit on national TV and discuss the paternity of her child without, I'm sure, talking to her child. Tell you what kind of human being Mia truly is at her core. And come to think about it, it's a reason why Gizelle is probably attracted to Mia. It's because Gizelle is going through men just like Mia is. The only difference is Mia is way open than Gizelle is. One and the same. Now, do I think Gizelle is a habitual liar? No, not as much as Mia. Mia got everybody beat. Gizelle talking about her dad passing away. I can't tell if some of the cast members are faking when they're voicing their concern about other cast members that they don't like reaching out to them during the time of their crisis. Answer me this, y'all. In what real world would you really check on your frenemy when they're going through a crisis? Mia was explaining the fact that she was going through it with Gordon, and Wendy and Candace said that they didn't reach out because they didn't want to get involved, etc. Instead of taking it for what it was, because they don't really know you. Let's start there. Why would you expect a phone call from them unless that was a plot? Unless you told Gordon, yeah, call them, let's get it on their radar, and etc., etc. I mean, that's the only plausible thing that I can come up with. And then Gizelle, for you to be upset that Wendy and Candace didn't reach out to you, you kept saying over and over again, oh, well, Karen reached out and Robyn was there. Duh, they're your friends, correct? Yes, they get in trouble for not, checking in with each other and not really being a part of the cast behind the scenes. We're just planting that seed to HR to demonstrate that Wendy and Candace is difficult to deal with and they're isolating themselves. I don't see why it would matter if they reached out to you during your time of grieving or not. Me personally, I wouldn't want a person that I do not like, I despise, to reach out to me while I'm going through the most darkest time in my life. It makes no sense. All I could think about when they were talking about Mr. Curtis Graves is the conversations that was being had about Barbara. Barbara was a House of Representative that Curtis Graves, Gizelle Bryant's dad, called Ain't Your Mama. That's the only thing that I could think of as she was talking about her dad. God rest his soul. It was frustrating me to watch the pendulum be swung back and forth, depending on who was spearheading the conversation. If it was Wendy and Candace, then it was almost like, why didn't y'all do this in X, Y, and Z? But when it came to Gizelle, I don't like them. And it was just it for the conversations. No more investigating. It was just whatever she said goes. I seriously don't understand what her obsession is with everybody checking in on her after she has slandered them, demeaned their husbands, and even Robyn. Robyn wanted Wendy to drop her kids off and keep it going last season. But now we're supposed to have some type of level of respect and compassion for you and your kids. No, drop your daughter off in Florida and keep it moving. How harsh that sound? That's exactly how it sounded when y'all wanted Wendy to just drop her kids off and keep it pushing. Drop my kids off around some people that don't like me. No, thank you. If you don't like me, 9 times out of 10, you don't like my kids. Therefore, I wouldn't have conversations about my child. No serious conversations about my kids in front of people that don't care for me. Seems like you do that. You talk about your kids in front of them just so they can have a certain reaction. So you can run back and say, oh, they were looking at my kid all cockeyed and weird. just so you can have something to say. It's weird, and I know it comes from the pretty girl syndrome, but we're not in those days and times no more. We're holding people accountable. But when I heard Andy say, I can't wait to see more about your love life, I knew it was over. There's nothing that they can do to remove Gizelle from this show. Her seat is solidified.
Religious naming ceremony, and then go outside and go in on them and challenge them about
we didn't
what
go
is
in.
your.
We didn't go. We just asked a simple question.
And then for Robyn to bring up, okay, well, when your girls are older, what box are they going to check? What the hell are you talking about?
Katie,
Why would you even bring that up?
Katie, you know that you said something wrong. That's why you sported the Jackson 5 afro.
The Jackson 5 afro?
Yes, you remember the afro?
First of all, you don't know my family. My mother is from Savannah, Georgia.
Right.
She lived in the segregated South, just like your family.
You're not proud of that.
This is so ignorant. I can't even get myself upset about. Wow, dumb and dumber.
No,
Question, Robyn. Which box do you tell your kids to check? Black or white? That's what you asked Katie. So which box are you having your brown boys check? Black or white? Now you're sitting on stage and you're obtuse and you're appalled that people are calling you a colorist? What really eats at me about these two is the fact that they get the privilege of sitting on national TV talking to a white Andy Cohen as if they are obtuse, that colorism exists within our community. It's very harmful to our community. I would not be surprised if the reason why Robyn decided to shed a tear, tried to anyways, because I didn't see a tear drop, did y'all? I feel like the reason why she really was giving us all that emotion is because she probably was getting a 3rd degree from one. You're a total embarrassment when it comes down to conversations like this, especially to his side of the family. This is why Gizelle is upset with Candace, is because Candace hit it on the nail with Gizelle as well, because Gizelle's mom looks white. When she said it affected my family, I believe that's the person she was saying that it affected the most, her mom. Instead of fixing the problems that's broken within her, instead of her trying to see things from people's perspective on how she treat others, she internalized what her mom said to her behind closed doors about how Candace's remarks made her feel. And that's why she's truly upset with Candace. Not only did you insult me, my mom felt that indirectly. You guys pay attention to the difference between when Candace would cry, how Mia found it her business to be dismissive of her feelings. Oh, Candace, she cried when the wind blows. Although she lies at every fucking chance. It don't matter what the weather is outside. That woman can lie. It's pretty disturbing how quick she can lie. But back to what I was saying. Did y'all see the difference between when Candace would cry and then she cried for Gizelle's dad, and all of a sudden Gizelle has nothing to say? She's not even cheering, making fun, picking at Candace about her crying about her dad. But as soon as Gizelle would cry, even Andy was, rubbing her on her shoulder. That's what we're talking about. That's the difference. It's the fact that Robyn got a pair of balls to try to confront somebody else's husband about some rumors that I truly believe, and this is speculation, but I definitely believe that Gizelle and Robyn paid that woman to put that story out with Tasha K, but that woman reneged because she got scared. To Chris, but I want to say this before I end this video. On my last review of Real Housewives of Potomac, I've noticed Candace demeanor is a bit different, and now we know Chris was behind the scenes telling her to kind of watch it. I thought about it. Plotting rumors, plotting storylines, situating Candace in scenes to where she could be harmed. For Chris' sake, I surely hope he don't ever cheat on Candace or find himself in an uncompromising position with a woman, because people are going to drag you, sir. I felt like, that Chris and Candace Bassett. Really, Chris had more of a case than Michael Darby had against Candace. Well, and Candace was cool at this time. So she waited months until they began to film to air this out on national TV. Although Gizelle says she has nothing to do with that woman coming out with that story about Chris, I beg to differ. I definitely feel like she had something to do with it. She was trying to downplay her part so bad. Oh, well, she said, I didn't have anything to do with that. Why are you making for sure that if nothing else, we remember that part? Did you tell her to say that? And I'm just saying, it's just odd. I will say this though, Gizelle, tread very carefully, because the same hole that you're digging for Candace and Chris will be the same hole that you may fall in. Before I go, let me address a comment that came in my comments earlier, and I blocked your ass and I deleted your comment because Y'all love to come to smaller YouTubers and tell them that they're passing misinformation when the bigger YouTubers come to our platforms and regurgitate the same thing that we say on our platforms without giving us credit. It's happened to me several times where people would use my thumbnails, use my catchphrases, and will post it to their page and take full credit. This information is me saying that Gizelle was a prostitute, a hooker, not a first lady. That's mis-fucking information. Steak is me mixing up fucking churches. I don't know why that was such a big ass deal, but it was. Contingent on that small ass detail, I was spreading misinformation. Get the fuck out of my comments if you're not going to watch all of my video and you're going to listen to misunderstand. I don't have time. Block your ass and keep it pushing. It don't make me no never mind. Secondly, I am not a Gizelle. I am not a Letitia Scott. I am not a Kimmy. I'm not an Ashley Darby. And I'm not a Robyn Dixon's fan. I don't care for those women. They literally have evil fucking intentions. And I don't like that type of shit around me in real life. So I'm not going to sit on a platform and spread misinformation as if I am. If you're not able to handle my commentary when it comes to your face, please keep scrolling. Until I see different from these women on national TV, whether they're playing a character or not, their children are witnessing this. Their children will be indirectly affected by their actions on national TV. If it's not now, it's in the years to come. I can't stand behind that. I won't stand behind that. You have been warned because I've been taking it easy in my commentary. But you have been warned. We're going to talk about Martell Hope. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, like the button. And if you're a real one, go ahead and comment your thoughts below. Thank you.
Warning, warning, warning.